How's it going, guys? And welcome back to another video. Alright, so it's been a while once again. I know I keep saying I'm gonna start uploading more, but if I'm being honest, I haven't had a lot of video ideas. But yeah, I'm slowly coming up with some. I was actually going to, this morning I was actually gonna edit one of the videos I had started recording like a month ago. I went into Premiere Pro, loaded up the file, and it is from so long ago that I still have my goatee in the video. If you guys haven't noticed, I shaved. I shaved quite a while ago, and then I shaved again, but I think I'm gonna grow out the goatee this time. If you guys haven't watched my videos, if you guys didn't watch the last video that I just uploaded, which was without my goatee, because that was the first video I dropped after it. This will be quite new for you, but yeah, I feel like I went back to grade 10 for the OGs who used to watch this back in when I was in grade 10, so like a year and a half ago when I first started this channel. Y'all will notice that I didn't have the goatee back then, and yeah, looks like I'm in grade 10 again. Anyways, what is today's video about? Today's video is about how to make progress if you're struggling to, because quite frankly, everyone is just like, oh yeah, discipline. But then there's so many other distractions out there, and there's so many other little concepts that people don't take into consideration, and it completely fucks up their progress. And if I'm being honest, this happens to everybody that is on self-improvement. They won't share it out there. They will not put it out there because they're too ashamed, or they think it's gonna, blow their, how true self-improvement peak they are. Because then they're afraid people are gonna judge them and be like, yeah, you're not disciplined or anything. But quite frankly, it happens to everyone. And I'm one of the rare people who will admit that it has happened to me. And it happens to me quite often, because y'all know this is a very unfiltered channel, and I'm gonna share a lot of stuff that, other people wouldn't share. Now, I'm not saying like too in depth like that, but things that would usually embarrass other people, and things that would get me flamed if some people at my school find out, but I don't even care. That's not even the point of it. The point is to give you guys unfiltered content that you can relate to, because a lot of the things I post, I could bet 99.9% of people would relate to. Anyways, let's get into the video. The first thing is gonna hurt a lot of people. You might just have to do this, okay? Because this is what I did in grade 10, and that is basically going monk mode. When I first started self-improvement in grade 9 and started seeing little improvements in my physique and my mindset and things like that, and my relationships and bonding skills with other people, I started thinking, I was like, yeah, this monk mode thing is not really a thing I need. And I was actually going to do it. I did it for like a month, and I was like, bro, like, what is the difference? Really, what is the difference? It's just kind of cutting out the fun out of my life and just focusing on my thing. Now, I know a person like me is asking, what is the point of this? I used to tell myself that all the time, what is the point of this monk mode thing? And never really realized how valuable it is to just sit down and do nothing but work on yourself all day. Because quite frankly, that's not what I did. I used to do little things here and there. I wasn't as serious about it. I was serious about it, but obviously what I do now is nothing compared to back then, right? So it was little things. It was nothing like, wake up at 5 a.m. I'm not saying I wake up at 5 a.m., but wake up super early and do things like meditate, read. I never did that shit back then. So quite frankly, if I didn't hang out with my friends or not, it didn't make a huge difference if I did this monk mode thing at all. But this is where you gotta kind of realize, if you were to do one of these things, what are you gonna work on? Because what I was doing before is drop shipping, and I was like, okay, I never really implemented it properly. I just was like, let's just cut out the fun out of my life and just keep that big ass gap that I would usually spend hanging out with my friends doing whatever the fuck I want. And yeah, that's monk mode. My concept of monk mode was very different back then. In fact, I used to post on Instagram about monk mode.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Like, that completely ruins the point of monk mode. Monk mode is supposed to be a time where you completely disconnect yourself from the outside world and do nothing but focus on yourself. But no, I I was chasing Instagram likes and posted a picture of me at the gym with the caption, monk mode. Oh my god, I'm cringing just thinking about it. So what am I trying to get at? You know, I never really realized how important it was until grade 10. It was at grade 10 where I had no choice but to work on myself because I didn't have friends, that many friends. I had like one main friend in grade 10, through all of grade 10. And that's because right near the end of grade 9, I fucked myself over and lost all my friends because, you know, my ego got to the best of me. And you know what? It's the sad truth is that might happen to a lot of people. You know, you think, I was on self-improvement, remember that? You know, sometimes you might think, you know, you're all high and mighty and, you know, you're amazing like this and you can't fuck up your life even more like you did before. But yay, guess what happened? So in grade 10, I went to grade 10 having one or two main friends and that's it. And they were boxing buddies. So all I did was stay at the gym and work on my boxing skills and other things like building this YouTube channel and, you know, finding ways to make money and, you know, better myself, like make a comeback. I knew what I had to do in grade 10 and I knew that, okay, if I'm gonna really make progress, because one thing I really thought about, I was like, okay, grade 9, I was making really mediocre ass progress. So I was like, dude, I don't have a lot of, like, it's not like I can hang out with a lot of people right now. Let's just go all in. So what I'm trying to tell you is that you might just have to lock in and like, that's it. Just lock in and focus on yourself heavily. If you're really struggling to make progress and you're letting like distractions like your friends get the best of you, you just have to go all in on self-improvement and just lock in and go monk mode. And I know it's not that easy, and it definitely wasn't easy for me back then in grade 9. And grade 10, I did kind of have a handicap because I had no friends. But yeah, the big turning point was like, okay, during summer I was like, yeah, I gotta change some stuff because what I'm doing right now, not it. And then I decided, okay, what are some things I'm gonna work on? The number one thing was my personality, and I did that. I read books, I practiced it on other people. I practiced my social skills with other people. I wrote it down, rehearsed myself. I did all these things day and night. And yeah, it got me to where I am, to the point where the friends that I lost back in grade 9, I've got them all back. Our bonds are stronger than ever. And like, I've gotten every single one back, and I've gotten more on top of that. So yeah, I'd say it really paid off. Now let's say another thing that I was really trying to work on was my boxing skills. You know, boxing ain't an easy sport and it needs a lot of consistency to be able to get good at it. And I'm not saying I'm pro, but like if I were to have the friends I did back in grade 9, or like maybe not even just them, just a bunch of friends, like the same amount of friends I did in grade 9, in grade 10, I could guarantee you I wouldn't have made the progress that I had because I would have had more distractions. I would have spent more time hanging out with them at a community center instead of nights at the gym. Because back in grade 9, and what I do now, because I've got those friends back, is back in grade 9, every day after school, I would go to the community center that I always talk about in my YouTube videos and just hang out there with them. In grade 10, that swapped from nights at the community center to nights at the boxing gym, just grinding. And I went all in on boxing and other things and this YouTube channel and just trying to make up for what I did in grade 9. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're really struggling to make progress and you feel like you're just hit a plateau, you don't know how to put like in more effort, then I'd say just having fun is overrated. You gotta, you know, cut out majority of the fun time that you have. Like if you like to, you know, go hang out with your friends every day after school or like go study with them, I mean, sure, there's nothing wrong with that, but you know what I mean. If you're like me in grade 9 where you did nothing but just hang out with your friends every single day after school, then you might not make a lot of progress. And that's what I've done now. I've built myself a routine and also built myself a mindset to the point where I can understand I can know when to say no and how to stay consistent on my goals. Because what I used to do in grade 9 is just fuck it. Okay, let's just go to, you know, hang out with my friends and do nothing. Now I can learn to say, okay, my friends are going to the mall. I'm probably not going to go today because I have a lot more homework that I need to complete and I have a couple assignments or blah, 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 right? Old me would be like, okay, yeah, fine, we'll just stay up later. Current me, I would probably be like, okay, is this really a smart decision? Nah, let's just skip it on today. So yeah, if you can build a mindset around that I have, I'm not trying to flex, but like through experience, I've built this kind of mindset. If you can understand when to say no in certain circumstances, then you might get away with it. But I think the best decision is just go monk mode, go all in, and just live in solitude. Don't hang out with a lot of other people, and just go all in on your goal. Because quite frankly, I don't think there's been a story in history where someone has never gone all in on their goals and not reach them. They do things like stop hanging out with their friends, waking up earlier, going to sleep late, just living in solitude, disconnecting from the outside world, deleting social media. People like that who spend, maybe they went from 3 hours a day on Instagram on their phone to 3 hours of deep work. People like that who swap their routine to make their life almost like a monk mode life and go all in. There's never been a story where people don't hit their goals like that. And I'm one to vouch for, because I did do that, and I hit my goals. So if you just go all in on your goals and just go monk mode, stop hanging out with your friends, then there's no way that you won't make progress. Anyways, I think that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I promise I'll try to get more videos out more often. I know I've been slacking a lot, but yeah, your boy's just not been having a lot of ideas. Oh, by the way, quick announcement. I've started a podcast. The podcast is about relatable teenage things that teenagers can relate to. And I started it with 4 of my buddies. It's called the Deep End Podcast. And yeah, we just started it. We recorded the first episode, but it didn't turn out very good. And as you guys can see, we're goofing off too much, and also the audio is really bad. You guys won't be able to tell because I didn't put the microphone audio. I just put the camera audio. But the microphone audio was so shit, I just scrapped the entire video. And yeah, we're on spring break now, and we're using the sound equipment in our school, so we can't really record during spring break. So yeah, we'll have to wait about a week more until we can maybe even just record the first episode. I've been figuring out audio shit for so long, it's not even funny, because I really wanted to get that crisp microphone sound that every podcast has. And yeah, I'm about there with some effects and other shit that I can only do in that sound room. But yeah, anyways, I'll leave the Instagram down in the description, the podcast Instagram down in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace, bros.